Hanging out here till we come back. Hey guys, good morning again. This is Papa Snow. As promised, I indicated to everyone that today we would be visiting Lands and Survey and a few ministries as well in regards to the investigations and everything that we've had going on. Right? So, in the name of transparency, I'm doing this live here now to make sure that everyone sees what is going on. Right? Just bring the briefcase, right? Can't walk without the evidence. So, currently right now, I am at Lands and Survey here in Guyana. Right? So, interested in knowing how they're going to behave when they know that I'm recording. Kind of curious. I'm just going to tell them that I have my boss on the phone, right? And see how this works out. Because technically I do, right? The public is my boss, right? When you're doing these things, the public is my boss. Hold on. Sanitizer section. So, let's sanitize. Sanitizer, right? Is the way to go. See my brother Raj in the background here. Scoots, hold on. They have these tissues here. Yeah, Raj, you sanitize up, Raj. You know. Hi, good day.
Yeah, good day.
How are you?
Wash your hands, sir?
Yes, I did, Mom.
Okay, you put the ID card under the banner, under the shed there.
Okay, let me grab my ID out. Okay, so under the shed right
Yeah.
now. Okay, thank you. My brother, he's coming in there.
Okay, this is it, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Brother from another mother, but
Okay,
we're all
it's a
brothers, huh?
It's a brother.
It's a brother. That's how we address each other. Hi. Good day. How are you doing?
Thank you,
This gentleman is also with me. I'm actually here to speak with Mr. Ben today, and also Mr. Gray. And I have my boss on the line, so he's like kind of following me right now.
Your address, please.
3 Public Road, Baggettstown, for both parties. Imagine, look at my ID. Look at my ID, right? Yeah,
Same address to both persons?
Yeah, same address. This guy an ID. Could barely recognize me.
Republic Road, Baggettstown.
Yep.
That's okay.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just signing it.
Raj, what's your ID, Raj? Young boy.
Still on when it comes. Yeah, you could go to the corner.
Thank you very much.
Now you're going, right?
Yes. Okay. So I want to show you guys something, right? I want to show you guys something real carefully. Since APNU was in power, all of these new cars here, I don't want to show the license plate too much, but all of them got car care plates on it, right? So the last government had some type of fancy contract with the people who own car care, and they buy a set of new vehicles with tax money, right? Yeah, all of them got car care on it. That's the link, right? So I wanted people to see the actual link so that they know. Good day. So that they know how some of the tax money gets spent and who is responsible for spending the tax money, yeah? Yes. going to the commissioner's office. Watch how your boy walk around this place like you know this place, right? It's so funny. Hi. Good day.
Morning.
Morning. I don't know if you remember me, Mr. Snow. I'm actually coming here in relation to the same issue that was addressed. Just.
Dropping off a correspondent?
No, I would actually like to speak to Mr. Ben in relation to the same matter and find out why is it that Mr. Gray, Mr. Lyndon Gray, has not acted on this order here since 2019. They were supposed to address an issue with a gentleman who had blocked off a roadway.
All right. You're going to speak with Mrs. Chong, the manager for the Land Admin Division.
Yeah.
You know where to find her.
I know where to find her, back over there. Now, I've spoken to her before in regards to this. I've also left messages with Mr. Gray's assistant, and there's been no follow-up since. So I just don't want to keep running through the same dead ends that I've been running through for a year right now, which is why I keep requesting to speak to Mr. Ben.
Talk with her first and hear what she says.
All right, not a problem. Okay, great. You want to hold this for me? All right, let's see how fast we can get this, because this is over a year overdue. Okay, so the secretary is now sending me back to a woman who was supposed to deal with this, who has never dealt with this. Interested in seeing what's going on. Where are you, Raj? You have to bring that document. You have to go straight to Miss Gio. Morning. Yeah, so it's so cool that I know everywhere that I have to go, huh? It's almost as if I've done this 1,000 times already. So I can't go in there unless I'm allowed to go in there. Strict the place. Is there anyone in there? Yeah, there's people in there. There are people in here. Hi, how are you doing? I was just sent from the commissioner's secretary to come and speak with the Miss Jewel Chiang. Yes.
In connection with?
This is in connection to an order to have an obstruction removed from a roadway in Land of Canaan. There you go, you can check it out here. And Mr. Gray is supposed to be working on this, but Mr. Gray never followed up. So I guess they're sending me to his manager now to find out what is really going on.
Okay, and your name is?
Mr. Snow.
Mr. Snow?
Snow, yes. Correct.
Okay, just hold on.
Not a problem. I want everyone to see what goes on here. The push around, the run around, the fatigue that all Guyanese people have to go through when you're just trying to live an honest and decent life. Right? And in Guyana, everything is such a slow and drawn out and fatiguing process. That's why most people commit suicide as an easy way out, I think. Because it just seems like it's never-ending torment. Right? So far, I don't think they realize that I'm living yet either, right? So I'm just going to be like, yo, it's my boss. Right? So all y'all is my boss today. I voluntarily offer you all my services, which includes runaround, which includes investigations, which includes mediation, which includes all sorts of stuff. Right? The list goes on. Right? So let us see how this thing is going to work out. Because...
Please have a seat, she will be here with you.
Okay, thank you. So let's see what excuses lay before me before I take it to another level. This is also very important. It's important for residents. Hi, Miss Jung. How are you doing? I don't know if you remember me, Mr. Snow. I would just like you to have a look at this letter here. This was an order since 2019. No follow-up was ever made in respect by Mr. Gray. No one has contacted us back. Of course, then elections came in, COVID came in, all of this stuff. But there are still 149 families that can't get to their land because this gentleman has blocked off the roadway.
Okay, so the person or the agency responsible for reserves is the NDC, not Lands and Surveys.
I had spoken to Mr. Kilkenny. That particular reserve there falls under Lands and Survey.
Reserves don't fall under Lands and Surveys, it falls under the NDC.
Under the Lands and Survey Act, Commission Act of 5905, right? It clearly states it is unlawful for persons to occupy government reserves, right? And this is why this has been going on. This
You
is
would have written to us initially.
this is why I've been here since 2018 running
The
around.
NDCs are responsible for administering reserves and to ensure that there is no encroachment on reserves.
Okay, well, the NDC from Land of Canaan had already stipulated that it is Lands and Survey that has to
Can't
do.
say that. They're responsible.
That's a Mr. Dwarka Knott who is there.
Are responsible for is ensuring that the reserves are identifiable, and like for instance, if a survey is done, the person doesn't include the reserve in a survey. That's what we do. But like to say squatting on reserve, blocking of reserves, that comes under the local authorities. Right?
So
the local authorities are responsible.
So then I should head back over to the Ministry of Communities.
Ideally, that's what I became aware of the issue, and we were trying to figure out,
Because right now I'm trying to figure out who's responsible for upholding the law here. Which agency is responsible for upholding the law? Because they're telling me you, and now you're telling me them.
There's a conflict. Okay, there's a conflict in the law, right? And many of the acts override each other. So there is, I think, 2801 and 2802. One is for the mayor and city council, and one is for the local authorities. But the local authority, ideally, is responsible for ensuring that reserves are kept clear and free of encumbrances.
Any possible way you can call the Ministry of Communities before I head back over there and just verify this? Because I've been bouncing around, as you know, I've been bouncing around for some time now. This is a 1-year follow-up on something that started in 2018. We are now in 2020, and the year is more than almost halfway, right? So, of course, you can understand that this is an emergency. This has been an emergency. This is a legal issue that's going to more than likely go to court, and every party who is involved, whether will have to get called in at some point in time.
The only way Lands and Surveys will get involved in that through the court would be as the party which comes in to say who is responsible for what.
Okay.
Right? Because
So then,
the role that we play with regards to court matters like this is that where the parties can't agree, we will come in as the third party to say this is what is supposed to happen.
So you don't do no enforcement.
No, not that kind of enforcement.
So
Quite honestly, we don't do enforcement like that.
okay, because the NDC in the Craig Caledonia area has stated by way of their chairman, Mr. Dwarknott,
He wrote a letter saying
that
that they're not going to do it.
that they don't have the capacity to do that.
We don't have the capacity either, but it's not something that we normally do. That's why we don't have the
So
capacity.
so if I go now,
Our enforcement, sorry, I don't mean to cut you, but our enforcement mainly is in relation to state lands, where persons occupy state lands and state in the state land area, designated, not between private lands and single.
yeah, but a reserve, a government reserve, isn't that state owned?
It is the NDC. It comes under the purview of the NDC to maintain and control those reserves.
Okay, and if the NDC fails to do that,
I guess the NDC reports to the Ministry of Communities.
okay.
They will have to take steps.
Is there any possible way that we can contact the Ministry of Communities from here before I head over there?
Who would we?
Mr. Kilkenny.
Kilkenny.
That was the last point of contact that I spoke to at the ministry, right under Minister Bulkin. But I know that...
Is he still there?
No, I don't know if Kilkenny's still there. I know the minister's not there. But I do have to go in there today to speak with the new minister, especially in regards to this issue.
But I think, anyway, you said you got something in writing from the NDC. You might need to follow up with that. Because I find it strange that all of the agencies we interact with, the NDCs pick up this slack.
So then why would Lands and Survey wait almost 2 years to tell me to go back to the NDC? And why is it that the NDC is still telling me to come back to Lands? Somebody down the line is pushing me around.
I really don't know.
And isn't Mr. Gray supposed to follow up on behalf of this?
No.
Yeah.
We were copied on it. That doesn't mean we were.
There's a date and a time that Mr. Gray was supposed to follow up on this. And no one has followed up on this.
You're familiar with Mr. Robinson? Because I know Mr. Robinson was following up on it.
And Mr.
And
Robinson?
this is after Mr. Robinson's visit?
Yeah, this is after Mr. Robinson's visit. It was established that that fence is illegally placed. And then he had to wait on more instructions from here to know what it is to do. I even have a video of the day when we went there. And all of the officers clearly stated they can't make a move without this office here giving them the authority to make the move based on what that investigation had.
What move is it you expect us
Well, whatever the legal move is.
Okay, so we don't do enforcement in that manner.
So, like, anybody could just go and throw up a fence anyway and block out people roads?
The NDC is supposed to do that.
The NDC.
The NDC has...
Can I get something in writing from you stating that the NDC is supposed to do that? Because surely that it cannot be... Surely, if you're telling me that that is the NDC's responsibility, then this office should be able to give me something to that effect to show me that is the NDC's responsibility. So when I take this back to the NDC for like the umpteenth time, I can tell them that this is where the responsibility lies.
Okay.
So that they cannot run from that. You understand?
Okay.
I don't mind waiting if I gotta wait.
You can get it today. You won't be able to get it today.
When will I be able to get that, Mom?
We're in a ticklish spot right now. Because we're transitioning.
I understand.
No, it's a... Because I don't know if the policy will change.
The policy can't change for the Land Submissions Act unless it goes through Parliament. And Parliament ain't really popping right now, right?
No.
So,
It ain't got nothing to do with Parliament. It ain't got nothing to do with Parliament.
So-
It changes depending on who's leading and the...
so the law
policy
changes?
of the government. No, the policy. The policy. There's an unwritten policy.
Okay.
I'm not talking about the law.
There's an unwritten policy? Is there
There is
there's such a thing as an unwritten policy that is legal?
Yes,
I just asking you, right?
Yes,
Because
there is. I've studied. There's unwritten policy.
there's unwritten policies.
Yes. Once something becomes practice, it becomes a policy. It doesn't have to be written.
It doesn't have to be written to be a legal process.
Yes, to be a legal process. But I'm talking about
To be a legal policy. Because I'm here only dealing with the legality of it, right? All the other thing them is what caused all this problem. I need this problem sorted out. And that is why, like I said, all I'm asking for, you're telling me that it is for the NDC. So I am hoping that you can give me a letter to that state or some sort of documentation from this office stating that that is the NDC's responsibility. So I could go and deal with them.
All right, let me see. Let me get a copy.
Yes, please do. All excuses. All excuses. I want everybody to see. I want everybody to hear. Because when I tell people, they don't believe me. They think I'm lying. They have unwritten legal policies. Can anyone explain that to me? How that is possible? Can anyone explain to me how it is possible to have unwritten legal policies in a government? This is Miss Chiang, Joelle Chiang. She's the manager. We're supposed to have this. Thank you very much.
So you had me on video?
I didn't have you on video.
Okay, because I'm not a faithful person. But anyway,
I actually have my boss on video with our board, because people are wondering, why is it taking me, a person that gets things done in minutes, 2 years to get something so simple done?
I don't understand what's the reluctance of the NDC.
Well, I feel it's corruption, but I don't want to make that accusation yet. I would rather lock them up with the full proof in my hand, and that's what I'm here to do. Whoever's involved in trying to rob us of $2.1 billion, we're putting them in prison. And we're not even going to play games with them. So this is why I need to ensure that each of the government facilities that are responsible for those areas can point out and stipulate directly in writing what those responsibilities are, because it's been a long time and a long push around and a lot of money spent.
Okay.
Right? So when would I be able to get the letter, Mom?
Well, next week, Tuesday?
Thank you very much. I'll see you Tuesday.
No problem.
So, next stop, Ministry of Communities. You cut off all of the excuses as fast as possible before anyone gets to cover any of their tracks. All right? And this is how you do it. This is how you do it. Right? So I just want people to see, under the new AFC government, managers of lands and survey have admitted that there are unwritten policies that they follow. Unwritten policies that they follow. At least me saying it, it sounds prejudiced when I say it, right? At least y'all hearing it from the mouth of people. That's the excuse that they give to the average man. We have unwritten policies that we follow. Pardon me, do I have to sign out?
No, sir.
Okay, thank you. Yep, 8 days. 8 days for one letter, because they have to find out. Yeah. Why you think I asked the letter? Why you think I live streaming? I live streaming for a reason. The next video you're gonna see is in a few minutes, and that will be from the NDC. That will be from the Ministry of Communities, which controls all NDCs in the country. We're headed to the Ministry of Communities in Kingston. You know where that's at, right? Good to go. Right, so I need to know, how in the hell is a government operating with unwritten legal policies? They say, man, we just kind of, y'all here, they just kind of do things and it become a policy. What mother scunt is though? What mother scunt is though? She ain't even know where she's sending me scunt. But anyway, this is what they do to people. I've done this 1,000 times already, you know. But this is the first time I'm doing everything live scunt. I want everybody to see, because I go into the new president soon enough with this shit. I go into all the ministers. Today is going to be a day of reckoning with all of them, because whoever's involved, all of them mother scunt, gotta see prison. Right? Prison. You want fraud the people of Guyana? That's one thing. The people choose to put people there for fraud. Don't come and fraud me. Don't come and try to fraud me for $2.1 fucking billion. You mad? No, man. People are dead for things like that, boy. People are dead for things like that. It's wrong. Right? Anyway, I'm going to come off this live fast. When I come back to you, we're at the Ministry of Communities because I got to save my megabytes and also save my battery power. I want everyone to see. I want you to see. I want you to be a witness. She was kind of tripping that I had a letter with her name on it. Yeah, miss, I got a letter with your name on it, which shows that you are one of the people who are not doing your job. So I'm definitely expecting you, Miss Chung, to do your job because somebody going to jail over this. I'm not even joking with you. If not, there's a whole handful of people going to jail. Right? Okay? Guys, everybody responsible for this right now going to prison. I ain't care if you're playing blame game. All y'all going to prison until we find out who really got the law here. Because people apparently behaving, right? People apparently behaving like unwritten policies are supposed to be held legally above written legal legislation. I have a problem here. Right? And yes, I will be showing the media. In fact, I am the only media that I could probably trust with this because all the anti-man media is tech pay. This tech pay and sell out everybody. And sometimes when you think the pay is money, it's not money. It's a good-looking man skunt. It's a little whining skunt. Right? Like this place is Sodom and Gomorrah. It's time to bring Sodom to its knees. Brimstone and fire upon Sodom. This thing got it done. And it got it done now. Right? Real thing. See you guys back in a few moments. Papa Snow, out.